Sorry for all the constant skips you're about to witness. I've been doing this for hours. I cannot get my phone to submit anything that's more than a minute long. So that's why there's all the skips. It's so I can actually upload it. Okay, enjoy the video. Ah! Hello everyone. As you can tell by my name attached to my post, I'm still Lucas Raymond. I found the supposed difference between same-sex and opposite-sex relationships pretty interesting during this course, as well as how people have tried to define love. From weeks 12 and 13, I didn't think there were a huge distinct difference from same-sex marriages and heterosexual marriages, but according to the paper that we read, it said that gay couples are much more likely to discuss their relationship and their boundaries from the start of the relationship, and they're much more clear about what they want, and this seems to prevent a lot of the misunderstandings and conflicts. Which kind of makes me wonder why heterosexual relationships don't do the same thing, on average. Because it seems like such an easy way to, improve your communication and understanding, with your partner. And it also made me think about how rigid gender roles are, but, not only, the impact of romantic relationships, but also how it affects, how men and women are expected to act in society. On the same kind of topic of, the differences in these kind of marriages, we also watched a video earlier in this class, near the beginning of the year, about the same kind of topic. And it was crazy to me that people still have these such homophobic values and misconceptions based on their relationships, and how their relationship relates to their religion or whatever, or how other people's relationship relate to their religion, and how they can leak into how people think they can be as a parent. The funny part is, for me, I actually grew up with 3 moms. So when I was looking at these kind of statistics, I'm oh, do they think that I would be better off, worse off, whatever? But I was happy to see that there wasn't any huge discernible negative difference from parents who have the same-sex couples as parents. They didn't talk about having 3 parents like I did, because it's a little bit of an outlier, but same kind of thing. And they really just are misconceptions at the end of the day. Misconception, it's just not true. However, recently I did read an article called, let me see it, The Behavioral Outcomes of Children with Same-Sex Parents in the Netherlands. So it's in the Netherlands, not the US. But the article that predicted that children of the same-sex couples in the Netherlands actually do have some differences. Being that it looks a lot about how the prejudice they receive. I'll start off with a quick quote from the article. Being same-sex parents face stress due to their sexual orientation, such as experiences of prejudice, negative feedback from friends and family, and a prohibitive legal environment. So this is more talking about how the fact that they're raised by these same-sex parents isn't the issue. It's the society's view towards them that affects them, and how that can affect the children. In the conclusion and synopsis of the article, where they finish off with finding a small to no difference in behavioral problems. However, they predicted that there would be plenty of psychological issues and possibly abandonment, how they could feel not from their parents but from the community, and being outcasted and that kind of stuff. But honestly, reading about that kind of stuff and kind of relating it to it's not my own experiences, but experiences that I've seen, it kind of that kind of train of thought helps me understand how children who are raised in these kind of families can often develop a lot of tolerance, resilience, and compassion as they deal with some of this societal stigma. I personally have never felt any negative social stigma about my parenting from the 3 parents and whatnot, but also I didn't tell anyone about it, not because I was embarrassed or anything. I was worried. I just kind of would have rather talked about Minecraft. Now I'm going to move on to the quantifying of love. I thought that was super interesting, especially one of the chapters that we read. The first one went over was the Rubens love scale, which tries to quantify it, which I think is super interesting. They give a bunch of tests and questions to these people, and people who scored higher on the scale very often had much more eye contact. But my biggest question is having the eye contact make you score higher of being able to show love, or is that people that are already more outgoing, right? People are going to be giving more eye contact because they're more confident and whatnot, and that could also lead into that. Is the eye contact the thing that makes it, or is it the confidence and the person and the personality? You know what I mean? The second type that I thought was interesting was the Sternberg's concept of love. He breaks it down into 3 separate dimensions, right? Instead of numerically the Rubens scale, he breaks into 3 dimensions of commitment, passion, and intimacy. And based on how you answer questions on the questionnaire he'll give you, you'll be assigned one of 3 relationship types, not one of those, not one of the dimensions of their own type. Those being the romantic love, companion love, and consummate love. And I think it's really fascinating to me how there's this love dynamic that he's created, and it's it can constantly evolve and change based on the current components that are present, and that's how he designed it. So if you could take it one day, you have this, and you take it a year later, you'll get this, and it'll be different. And it won't be different because it's not a valid test. It's different because you've changed as a person. The third way And the third and final way of defining love that we looked at during that time in the class was the Lee's love styles, and he breaks it down into 6 separate ones, being pragmatic, game playing, romantic, possessive, companion, and altruistic. The things with his love styles is that there's no test or quiz or anything you have to fill out. It's like you assign one to yourself, and that's fine and all, but it's not. It's kind of like self-diagnosing, and like if you see something that you want to have, like if you want to have altruistic love, or that be your type, you'll like identify with it more and more and more, and you'll like just fill in the blanks of like things like the general descriptions. You'll like put yourself in it. So that's the problem with that one. It seems more like a pseudoscience. It's not like the other ones we've seen or we've gone over. Overall, I really enjoyed the class. I thought it was fun. I thought it was kind of be a snore, to be honest, but it's been pretty interesting learning about everything. It's been surprising every week. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And yeah,